Hey, what's up? It's me, Awesome Ali.
And I'm Raisa, and welcome back to another amazing Facebook Live. And for our last day of Youth Week, we have a digital marketer with us, and his name is Jayson. So we're going to bring him right on.
Thank you for
Hi.
having me on your show, guys. Thank you.
Oh,
No
thank you.
problem.
Thank you for joining us. So we're just going to quickly jump into it and start off with who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm Jayson Dombele. I'm the founder and CEO of the Scaling Sauce Marketing Agency. According to BuzzFeed, we were one of the fastest growing marketing agencies in 2019. So we really focus in getting to digital marketing, especially in Instagram and in Facebook and all these social media platforms. A lot of companies, a lot of personal brands or individuals that are starting a brand or scaling a brand, they're worrying about vanity metrics. So the key differentiation with my agency, we focus on important key metrics that are allowed to showcase investors or showcase their customers the growth that the company is having, while making sure that they're profitable, while making sure that they're sharing a great message, and then they have a good salary.
Wow.
Very nice. So what's the meaning behind the name of the Scaling Sauce?
Yeah, so the scale, it's funny that a lot of people ask me that. So when it comes to starting companies or starting a brand or finding the right name, you want to remember that, especially when you're growing a company, it's a long-term relationship. It's a long-term goal. It's like your baby. Like if you, once we all grow up and we have our own families, like you want to make sure that the child that you have, the name that you give it is like it has certain meaning to it. So with the Scaling Sauce, I know that every single business person or every single person that has a personal brand, they come with what I call sauce. So everybody's born with certain specialities. So you might be good in like arithmetic, so you're good at accounting, and maybe this person's good at marketing. Like everybody got their certain specialities, and I'm taking that from the client, and I, as a marketer, and my team as marketers and salespeople and customer service people, they'll take that speciality that you have, and we're going to scale it with certain strategies. So no marketing agency is special. It's just a matter of understanding how people work, how people think, what makes people buy, and we utilize what you already have. We implement it to your brand. We make it much more professional, and that's when a brand starts making much more profit. That's when a brand gets much more authority, and that's us scaling your company. So our clients are the sauce. We're the ones scaling the company, so we just call ourselves the Scaling Sauce.
Wow. So
Very nice.
you look pretty young, right? So
Yes.
you look pretty young. You're running your own company named Scaling Sauce. It was featured in BuzzFeed for one of the fastest growing marketing company in 2019. So can you tell our viewers, so how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 18 actually, about to turn 19 on August 16th.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Happy
So,
early birthday.
yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
August 16th. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're 18 years old. You've had all the success. What else are you doing? Because it seems like I've seen your Instagram and everything. You seem to be doing a lot. So do you care to share with our viewers what else you've been doing?
Of course, yeah. So actually, especially with quarantine, before the COVID-19 epidemic really took a hit in the US, with the Scaling Sauce, the thing is most of our clients are online. They're not in person. So we're based and headquartered in Chicago, Illinois, but most of our clients would be across the United States, and we have a couple clients that were in Europe. So my team and personally, I really got tired of just being on the internet all day, like just getting work done or talking to clients. But what really allowed us to sell and get new clients was the fact that we had that sense of transparency. So we usually have weekly consultation calls. We usually would have Loom. I don't know if you guys know a program called Loom, where I'd like record myself talking about the strategies we implicated to help a brand grow. So a lot of online brands claim to have that type of transparency, but it's just people that are working to make a quick buck. But for me personally, I like having that in-person communication. You could probably already see that I like talking a lot. But that's why I was like, okay, how exactly can I take something that I'm already doing. So we do marketing, we do sales, we do customer service, and we're great at that. But how exactly can we focus in just having clients that are in person? So, and we can help them and assist them with what we already know how to do. So I realized that, okay, co-working spaces, they don't have marketing people. They don't have a sense of a team. And a lot of people claim that they don't have that sense of community. I used to work out off of co-working spaces, and there's really no sense of community. There's that entrepreneurial spirit, which is what drives me to get into that co-working space. But how exactly can we exactly put ourselves together? Although you running this company, I'm running mine, but how can we help each other? How can I learn from you? How can you learn from me? So I realized that, okay, co-working space is a way to go. I want to implement certain strategies. We're not going to get into some details because that's still in the works. But I was like, okay, I want to be able to serve as much clients as possible here in Chicago. And then in the future, once we able to see that this company is profitable, we helped a lot of people, we built that credibility, we got a lot of public relations, we got a lot of interviews done. We helped a lot of people actually be profitable, and there's that sense of community. So that's when we're going to be looking to opening a couple more spaces. So besides that, I'm just really like looking into building more partners, getting more entrepreneurs into the business, getting investors into investing to the company. So that's really my main focus. And besides that, on my free time, I like doing interviews or like helping individuals that I see have the potential of being a better entrepreneur. And I just give out my resources to give back. So, yeah.
Wow. So we have a comment from Jennifer. Oh,
Jennifer Wong. Love to connect. I also think there should be programs like yours, boost each own talent to scale up instead of the same teaching mindset, etc., etc. Mastermind, even lots of talented persons. People get lost in the sea. So that's very important. If you would like to connect with Jayson, we are going to put up your information in our caption afterwards. Thank you for watching, and thank you for sending all the likes. Keep it coming. Ask some great questions. Jayson, you are full of gold, and I think you just spilled a lot of it out there
you
for
guys
us.
too. You guys too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So actually, I want to backtrack it a bit to your company, the Scaling Sauce.
Right.
When did it start, and like, what made you come up with the idea for it?
Yeah, it officially, the story is pretty funny. It officially, I could say, launched October 27th of 2018. See, I gotta know the launch dates. So I memorized them. October 27th of 2018 was when we launched. Yeah, was when we launched. So like I said, I actually launched also, I think it was on April 27th or 28th of 2018, a podcast called The Marketer's Key. So the funny thing is that I used to do journalism, and I realized that, okay, I'm more of a guy that likes building brands. I just want to run a business. I want to be that CEO of, like, you got your own office space, you got your employees and everything. You're telling them this is what you got to do, but you're kind of helping them and saying, like, okay, I want you to stay in the company, and this is your career, and this is how you could end up. So yeah, I realized that I can't come into the industry, I could say, of saying like, oh, I just created a website and I had like 19,000 readers read articles off of my website. So yeah, like a lot of people would say like, that's cool for a 15, 16-year-old, but how did he monetize? Did he make money off of it? And Google did reach out saying that, okay, we want to have Google AdWords running off of your site. But like, since I was kind of young, you're smarter than me. But since I was young, I didn't really know what Google AdWords was. So I was like, oh, okay, like, well, they want to run ads and I could make money. But I kind of let that go. I really didn't get into it. So I understood for some reason that personal brand was important. Like, you got to make a name for yourself. So I was like, okay, I'm going to launch a marketing podcast, and this is my opportunity. Although I don't have the money to pay consultants, to pay people that are experts, to pay people that have been in the industry, you probably wouldn't even waste time with me because I'm new. So how exactly can I reach out to credible people and learn from them? And I knew it was okay, it's through marketing. So I put a podcast together. I knew I love marketing. That was I wanted to run a marketing agency. I knew that from the moment that I dropped the first episode, like this is something I want to get into. So I, although didn't have people listening to my podcast, especially from the first one, it was like 2, 3 friends and my mom and my dad and my siblings, just to get the numbers up to make me feel personally good. But I was claiming to everybody, or to my the people that I was interviewing, I was saying like, there's a lot of people that listen to this podcast. You guys got to be on. So, sometimes you kind of got to sell yourself. So I was a natural born salesman. I was like, you know what? We got a lot of streams. Got to get into this podcast. I'll help. That's free publicity. So, and it was working. I was able to, the first person I interviewed runs a auto shop. He has a couple locations, I think 3, 4 locations. He'd made like $1 million, $2 million, no, 500,000 like a month out of all the locations, and he paid himself like 200 grand. So he's like a millionaire. That was like it was a really bad episode, but it was a really credible person. And then from there, I started interviewing like startups, like Clearmace. It was like an Airbnb cleaning service company. I started interviewing like several credible entrepreneurs. Someone I forgot one of the brand, and then I remember also sending a DM to someone that had a verification badge. Like it was this 17-year-old entrepreneur, and I was like, oh, I have this podcast, like I would want to interview you. Like I just love what you do. You also 17, like I want to be big as you. So he for some reason responded. I was like, oh, okay. He got into my podcast. I interviewed him, and then I asked him after the session, like, can I have your number? Like, I just want to connect with you. Just like I told you guys before, like you want to make sure that you retain the relationships. And then he's like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm gonna give you my number, but don't share it with anyone. So I was like, oh, okay. If I'm able to reach out to him, I could reach out to anybody I want. So I just got to position myself. I had to have a credible brand, but I'll keep doing everything I could to interview credible people. So I started learning from other people. A lot of credible people started getting to my podcast. And then I got to a point where like every time I'd read books. Like right now I have like a book on me. Like I'm always reading, but I'd read books. I'd watch like YouTube videos about like all these other entrepreneurs. What did they do? How did they execute and stuff like that? Take a whole bunch of courses, which I recommend. You don't have to pay for courses. Education is free. If you want to get information, like everything is online. It's a matter of like how you get it and how dedicated you are. So just started taking in the information, but obviously with self-education, which I highly believe in, you come to a point where you might not understand certain things. So I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to find an entrepreneur that is an expert in what I don't understand and position the questions, saying like the audience claim this. They're asking this type of question. What do you have to say? Because you got to realize too that you're going to be a competitor, or are you just a kid, or is this kid really smart? And mostly people like you guys, like we know you're smart. So you can end up a competitor in the future. You can end up a competitor tomorrow. So no entrepreneur is that like slow to like give out all their ideas, but you position yourself as you really don't care, but you're really taking notes. Because several times like after the session, I'd like listen to it again and take my notes. So that's when I got enough information. I was like, oh, okay, let me actually put this together. Let me actually run a marketing agency and learn as I go. So then at October 27th of 2018, I was like, okay, let's get this rolling. And I put the site together, put a couple sales scripts together, and started reaching out to people. And that's how it launched.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I like how you said you're retaining relationship with others and you're always learning afterwards, even from your own interviews, because you can ask so many questions, but when you listen back to it 3 or 4 times, you're finding those nuggets. But you also mentioned that you always have a book on you. do you have your own book on you?
Yes, I do actually. It's in my library back there. But yeah, the book is called The Symptom Signal. It been published on January 21st of 2019. Yeah,
Mhm.
January
Sorry, what's the
21st,
name of it?
2019.
What is the name of your book?
The Symptom Signal.
And what is it about?
So the symptom signal, like I said, I'm good with names, or when it comes to names, I like giving the value to it. So if you can see, a symptom is like a medical term of a sign of something that's supposed to happen, something that you could prevent, or something that is expected to happen, right? And a signal, which is the same thing. But the symptom signal is a sign. So what are the certain signs that you have had in the past? So you guys being an entrepreneur, what were some signs of you loving the fact of running a business or starting a company by the age of 10 or by the age of 12? Were there certain things that you were doing by the age of 14 maybe that showed those little interests that business is really your thing? Because we're in an era where everybody assumes that business is the way to go because they just want to make money. They want to be rich. They want to have like a certain celebrity brand. But at the end of the day, like they're like getting to business, like there's so many moments where you're going to be mad. There's going to be so many moments where you're going to want to quit. There's going to be so many moments that you're going to cry. There's so many moments that you're going to see like, am I doing the right thing? So just so a lot of people like they're putting entrepreneurship in a pedestal when like this is something like you gotta take serious. Like it's either like you could be making money right now, but then you get to a point where you're not making any money because you're the one who determines how much you're going to pay yourself or how well your company is going to do. So the book is really focused on figuring out those signs that says, okay, entrepreneurship is my thing. Okay, being a ballerina is my thing. Okay, being a celebrity chef is my thing. Okay, me just raising my kids is my thing. Me just giving my life for my family is my thing. Or me being a teacher is my thing. So figuring out exactly what you really like, why do you like it, and then from there making sure that okay, for it being itself, so for you, for the fact of you just being a teacher, for you just teaching any subject, is that the reason why you like being a teacher? Is it because of the salary? Is it because you could teach at an Ivy League school? Is it, what is it? So once you figure that out, now we're talking about, okay, part two, how do we monetize it? You see, so now we're going to be talking about, okay, these are the points, these are the signs. Okay, this is for sure my thing. And then how do I monetize it? And then I'm planning to like drop a book where you're focused on your spirituality. You focus on like, how spiritually can I keep myself from moving forward? So besides meditation, like, is there a specific religion? Like for me, I'm a Christian. Like, how can God allow me to continue moving forward? What are the signs? Like, if I'm feeling down, like exactly, besides all this meditation and stuff like that, which is great, but how exactly spiritually can I be strong to continue moving forward? So I haven't told that many people about that being the second part. But yeah, but really, it's finding the signs and then monetize and then revamping yourself spiritually. So yeah, that's why I wrote the book and that's why I published it.
That's like really jam packed with like a lot of great stuff in there as to doing the signs and stuff. I agree with you on that because I remember when Ali and I first started writing our books, we didn't really think it was going to become APSOW, right? We didn't think it was going to become a business because I personally did not like business at the time. You know, I wanted to be a speaker. So that's true. And it came to the conclusion that if I want to succeed, if I want to help people on a larger scale, that I am going to have to like business regardless of what my style is. And because of that commitment and discipline to doing it, I started to enjoy business and started to enjoy networking and marketing and putting ourselves out there and building our brand, because without that, APSOW would not exist at the caliber it is today. So I totally agree with you. And I also enjoyed how you put in the bunch about your spiritual self and finding those kinds of signs, because sometimes we can agree that even when you are down and you're asking God or your higher power, with the universe you believe in, what is the sign that they're trying to give you? How can I silence myself enough so that I can either hear it, I can see it, maybe I can touch it, who knows? So I think
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. We're talking now.
That's a really good point you made. So we're just gonna jump. We're almost out of time, but you just dropped so many great things. We're gonna jump into your
next question.
Yes, in your speaking. So we're gonna combine that. Ali, you want to take a go at that?
Yeah, for sure. So you're also a speaker on the side of becoming, of running a company, scaling SAWS, writing your book, becoming the author. So what's it like for you to, what topics do you tend to speak on, and what is your message to teenagers?
So my topics, I like I said, it's focused on really what the symptom signal is. It's focused on exactly the beginning, finding the passions, finding those signs, talking about monetizing, building a business. But and the funny thing, I'm glad that you tied it in to actually what is the message to teenagers, because the book is really focused. It's for anyone. The equation is for everyone, but it was really for kids, because a lot of times that because of this device here, like a lot of people get distracted in like getting onto Snapchat and like snapping and all that nonsense, like, and then or having every single type of social media account, and you're just wasting time talking to everybody. Like, I kid you not, what if we go through my iMessages, like all the people that I really contact is people that do business, or I might ask a question, or we're just checking in. All my call logs, majority of them, like 98% of it, it's really just family and really just business. Not that it's not okay to have friends and all that. Like, I do have them, but they do know, your true friends do know that they're not about to waste your time just talking about random conversations. That's really not going to take you anywhere. Like, it's good to have that as a downtime thing. Like, for me, like after this, I'm going to just take time with my brother and like spend time playing on the Xbox and all that. It's good to have that, balance and everything. But my message to teenagers is this: you have a device. They're probably watching this on the computer. They're probably watching this on their phone. Like, we have access to the internet. If you don't have access to the internet at home, we have libraries, and we have all these other public resources that offer it for free. Find something that you like, practice it, learn it as much, study it, take courses on it, learn from it, find expertise in people that have been into that industry or specific, whatever you're interested in. Find someone that is really good at it and learn from them. And then from there, you find a way to monetize it, because we're coming into times where the economy is getting automated, and a lot of people really is going to have to find a second stream of income. So for us, the three of us, for our generation, which is why I like that you guys are doing these interviews to help the youth, is because like many are really not doing anything. Like, many is just spending time just playing games, and so it's less of a competition for me. Like, I don't have to do that much work, but really I'm competing with people that are really about to retire from the industry. So they should be listening to sessions like these and all these other sessions that you guys doing for motivation, because there are times I'm feeling bad about myself, like, oh, I'm comparing, which is bad, but there are times we'll be comparing ourselves to other entrepreneurs or other people our age that are doing much better. But then there's that other person that's like, oh, Jayson, you're doing good, look at what you're doing. But then I'm like, yeah, okay, I can't really see it to myself. But don't compare yourself to other people. Find what you like doing. Listen to these sessions. You feeling bad about yourself? Like, for me, I'm going to take the time and actually listen to other previous sessions you guys had, so I can hear what these other people said. So then from there, once I know what I want to do, I'm listening to other people that are experts or have some experience into whatever I have the interest on. Now then I could worry about monetizing. So worry about the education first, and then you worry about the profit. Because if you're worrying about making money first and then the education, or doing both at the same time, I promise to you this, you're going to fail. You're going to fail, because you're not like, you're going to be competing with people in the market that they come out of Ivy League schools. They come out of like universities. Like, you can't put education down, which was something that I was doing myself. I was saying that, oh, education is not important, school doesn't help. But at the end of the day, it does. It might seem indirectly, but long term it will, because you will be crushed by people that graduated off of these really great schools. So make sure that you're always reading. Make sure that you find your passion that you truly enjoy, even if you're not making money. I wasn't making money for a year out of marketing, and I still am doing it till today. I started making a profit out of it. So after that, then you reach out to people. Don't focus on networking, because only networking forever and reaching out to as many people as you want, that doesn't really take you anywhere if you don't know how to utilize it. And then make sure that your circle is small, because you don't want to waste time talking to people that won't really help you. You can have them for downtimes and all that, because you need that. But at the end of the day, focus on what's important. Focus on know your long-term goal, know your purpose, be connected spiritually, and have a key metric that you follow, so you can know that everything that I'm doing has a return of investment. That's
Wow.
That
was a lot, and everything that you said there is just pure gold. Like, when you listen back to this, I'm sure you're gonna hear the nugget and the information and the wisdom that you just dropped there. Jayson, yeah, I didn't even see that comment there, Samir.
Thank you, Samir.
And actually, sorry for always saying this name wrong, Mugisha. So how do we maintain good mental health while using social media regularly? And I think everything that you just said kind of answers that question. But if you would like to add something else.
Yeah, so when it comes to social media, the one thing you want to do is that I usually keep my phone. I don't know if I could show it. I can't really. But do not disturb. So you want to keep it on do not disturb. In terms of people, let's say Instagram or any social media, you don't want to be following that many people. For me, I only follow people in my network. So like the two of these that are interviewing me, I'm following them. So because one, I could learn from the content that they're providing, but two, they're not busy like taking videos or saying we're making this amount of money or look at me at the Bahamas. So you want to make sure that the people you're following are not celebrities. One, not your friends. Two, you want to only follow people that, one, you're learning from, but you want to also follow people that is providing value, like genuinely providing value, and that they're only in your network. Second thing is that don't worry about the likes, don't worry about the followers, don't worry about the comments. That's a waste of time. You're going to eventually find yourself buying followers, buying likes, and paying for PR just to get a verification. Don't worry about producing content on social media like that, because at the end of the day, there's so many hedge fund investors, there's so many big entrepreneurs that I personally look up to. They don't waste time on social media. For me, I'm only on Instagram to connect with these two people that are interviewing me and other credible entrepreneurs. And then that's how you're going to maintain your mental health using social media, because honestly, it's a waste of time unless you're connecting with credible people or people that are willing to learn from you, and vice versa.
Wow, well said. So I would also like to add, if you say if you're a teenager and you are like using social media, like most teens use social media for like the Instagram and everything, and I'm not going to put myself out of this. I do this too. Like, I still follow my friends and people in my school. And I would say with social media, something that you dropped early is don't compare yourself. I think that's something that brings it down a lot, worrying about likes, comments, certain things like that, especially when it comes to comparing, because one person, they might have more of like nicer stuff, and you're here and you look at that and you look at their different clothes and everything, and you compare yourself and say, oh, I don't have that. And I say that affects your mental health a lot. But also, like you said, make sure to follow some people who also drop good content. Follow them and learn from them, not just constantly liking and scrolling.
Exactly. And at the end of the day too, like there are people that, billionaires like Mark Cuban, people I look up to, they go into interviews with basic clothes. They're hedge fund investors. They're the leaders of the financial and capital markets. Like, they're with basic clothes. So it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm doing this interview, I'm just a college shirt, as a matter of fact. So it doesn't really matter. The people that really show off with cars, the people that really show off with money, those are the people that they're scamming people, especially with Instagram. If you find them on Instagram or Facebook, and they really don't have that much money. And it could be prop money too. I'm friends with the people that make prop money. So shout out to Prop Money. That's a company that they like make fake money for like all these like movies and stuff like that. People buy off of them. So that's prop. There's always prop money into like social media, so that's to be aware of. So don't really just worry about yourself and people that you can learn from, and that's pretty much it. That's the simple equation.
Wow. So this is going to be wrapping it up here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining,
No
and you
problem.
gave a lot of great advice as to finding your purpose, finding your passions, and making sure you are maintaining your mental health with your social media as well. Thank you so much for joining.
And
no problem. Thank you.
The last question, actually.
Yes.
So the last question is, going on top of being a speaker, founder, author, everything else, you're also a partner with UNICEF USA. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Very
like United Nations, it was a really quick thing, especially because of the COVID-19 relief. What they were doing is finding people that have a fan base or have like a certain personal brand that were able to just put it out there that anybody that has a vehicle that needs to like donate, or that have time to like go around to nursing homes or hospitals and donate like essential goods to these places, they were able to make a couple of dollars, because we know a lot of people, like 13.5 million people filed unemployment. So anybody that needed any opportunity to make money or to like recover from the funds that they weren't able to receive, or paychecks they weren't able to receive. So they were finding people that have a fan base or an audience to advocate for United Nations to find people to get that done. So that was some minor thing, but yeah, that was one of my ways of like contributing, putting that message out there.
awesome.
Wow.
Well, again, thank you so much for joining, and thank you to our viewers for watching. Thank you for your comments and your questions. Your engagement always makes these lives feel so much more homey, for example. Like togetherness. Home
it makes you feel more of a community.
Thank you.
Community is the word I think she's looking for.
Okay.
So this was presented by APSOW. Awesome people.
Shaping our world.
Remember, you are awesome.
And you can make the world a better place.
Bye.